Hello and welcome everyone to this Adobe Connect session all about Minecraft Education Edition. We're so excited that you've joined us, and my name is Derks, and right now we're at the head office of the Education Department in a place called ITD, where all things technology happen. I've got some amazing educators with me today, and they've all got a wealth of experience around Minecraft Education Edition. So I want to ask them just to introduce themselves very briefly, starting with Dr. Bron Stuckey.
Hi, I'm Bron Stuckey and I'm consultant to the Minecraft Global team and work with teachers all over the world sharing all the gaming goodness.
Thank you.
I'm Andrew Balzer. I'm one of the new STEM Share leaders working with the Department of Education and based in the Hunter region.
And I am Megan Towns. I work at Microsoft running teacher professional development. Spent a whole day at ITD here today running a Minecraft workshop. Had lots of fun and that's what I do every day.
Hi, and I'm Noelene Callaghan. I'm a high school teacher at Glenwood High School, and I'm also a global a global Minecraft mentor.
Thank you so much, guys, for your time today. I know that you're all extremely busy, but I really appreciate your expertise that you're bringing to this conversation today. Let's start off by talking very briefly. Megan, maybe you can give me a 30-second description. What is Minecraft Education Edition?
Excellent. No worries. So Minecraft Education Edition is a version of Minecraft. So you can download it and use it on a Windows 10 computer or an Apple Mac. The awesome thing is that just yesterday, we also announced that within the next month, you'll be able to get Education Edition on iPads. And that particular version of Minecraft gives you as a teacher certain controls around using that tool in your classroom. So there's lots of tools within that game that really do facilitate the learning process around recording learning and showcasing learning.
Thank you. Andrew, you've played with the Education Edition of Minecraft in your classroom. What's one of your favourite features of the app that gives you control, and how does that work in your classroom?
Yeah, look, one of my favourite features is the Classroom app add-on. That gives teachers a lot of control on what you can and can't do in the Minecraft world. It allows you to pause the game, to talk to all students simultaneously, to change a lot of the weather commands, but it also allows you to have an overall interactive map on where the students are, where they're building, and what's going on in the game. I think it's a really good addition to the Minecraft education.
So when we're thinking about classroom management in this digital age and having this tool in the classroom, do you think that classroom mode is something that really supports educators to manage their classroom still?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's one of the big tools that separates Minecraft from the other editions that are out there at the moment and gives the teacher a lot of control on the learning experiences that are happening in that classroom environment.
Thank you. Noelene, how long have you been using Minecraft in your teaching?
I've been using Minecraft for about 5 years now.
Yep.
I started many years ago at the last school that I was working at, just by starting off with a small lunchtime club that only had a few students, so I could learn the software as well. And that has just developed over time. The clubs have grown, and the integration with curriculum has also grown quite substantially as well.
So you've taken a club approach to sort of grow the presence of Minecraft.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I was one of those teachers that did not feel confident in myself in using the tool, and I wanted to have just that little bit of security and understanding of the software before I actually presented it with my students, just for my own teaching ability. And I just felt that for me that was the best strategy for me to use, so I could go to the classroom, and if a student did have a question, that I could then assist them with that.
So you really set yourself up for success then in your classroom. You're trying something brand new, but you also put a strategy in place for yourself. It sounds like that's what you're doing.
Yeah, that's right. I really wanted it to work, and I didn't want something that was going to be a tool that I would just use as a one-off. I could see the potential that Minecraft has to offer students, and just a teaching and learning environment, and I did want to be successful, so I put those measures in place so it could become a long-term tool.
Wow, that's really thinking ahead and really strategizing to make this successful. Sounds terrific. Megan, you have been working with teachers for a long time now, specifically on their skills using Microsoft technology. How do teachers who have never approached Minecraft, how do they often react?
Yeah, cool. So I have had to change the way that I teach Minecraft. I used to get teachers into the game almost immediately, but sometimes that's a little bit confronting for for teachers when they first start trying to play the game. We tend to, I'm going to include myself in this one, we tend to look at the ground and can't figure out what's up and what's down. So I sort of focus first on the impact of Minecraft in your classroom and how you can build lessons and curriculum around using the tool, and then jump into the game itself. And we use the tutorial world that's available in Education Edition that really guides teachers step by step through how to move in the world to begin with, and then how to craft, how to build things in the world. So I think that's really important, to give teachers time to play, to, even if you don't need to, you know, I think you don't need to know every single thing about the game to be able to use it in your classroom, but at least to have a familiar understanding of movement and crafting yourself is really important. Having time to do that is the most important part.
Okay. Dr. Bron, you've been looking at this for a long time now, about how these kind of innovative technologies impact teachers. If a teacher has no skills at all, what would your advice be? And they want to have this go. What would your advice be around their approach?
Well, I think Megan touched on it, that, you know, get in and play a little bit yourself. Maybe make it part of a staff meeting. Everyone get in and play. Have a dabble. Have a laugh, you know. Have pizzas.
Minecraft and pizza.
I've
I
done
like that. That's a good one.
I've
On a
had
Friday.
training days in schools where, you know, teachers sat around, we had, you know, Tim Tams and coffee and played Minecraft. And the next term round, you know, 15 of those teachers picked up Minecraft and
Wow.
took their first lesson. So having that sharing, but in a safe environment where you can have a giggle and you can, you know, you don't care if you dig yourself into a hole or
Quite
Or
literally.
someone else digs you into a hole.
or get stalked, you know, like, so, you know, and so have fun with it, because that's what the kids do.
Yeah.
You know, you really have to give yourself a permission to have fun, and that's a great place to start. Do that with other teachers. I heard teachers today in Megan's training say, "We're so glad we didn't come on our own, because we wouldn't have got near so much out of today."
Yeah.
And so that's the big deal, is like getting in, playing with someone else.
And having a buddy in that
Partner
learning.
up, or
Better
get,
together.
Get your year to all come and stay and play. Start off your next team meeting with some play in Minecraft, and just explore the ideas and get yourself a little bit confident, because you don't need to have a lot of skill. You only need to have enough to kick it off and understand where the kids might be going, because you will never be as expert as they are, no matter
Yeah.
how much you play, even if you're Andrew or Noelene or these wonderful teachers who do so much. But you give over to that and just be prepared to learn with the kids.
I made the mistake once of saying in a Minecraft club, in my early days, "Yeah, I am the expert here at Minecraft." and I thought I was pretty good. You know, I'm reasonably skillful when it comes to Minecraft. And I said that to the girls in the Minecraft club, and I was very quickly
Shot down.
put in my place. and I'm thinking, oh, I would never say that again. Let's have a think a little bit about curriculum, and what it looks like, what kind of a teaching and learning lesson might look like. And I'm wondering if each of you have got maybe a favourite project that you've done, or a favourite activity that has really direct curriculum connections. Who'd like to go first, sharing an example about that? Something? Yeah, Noelene, do you want to tell us about a project you've done?
The most recent one that I completed was just at the end of last year. It was for my Year 10 geography class. So we were actually studying urbanisation, and we used Minecraft as one of the many tools to basically bring our sustainable suburb to life. So we use traditional learning resources, textbooks, internet, other tools that you would normally use in a classroom, and use Minecraft as just another tool, so we could actually get the students in there and understand how a suburb actually is built and operated. So we took it out of just a 2D writing an essay, finding pictures on the internet, or using even Google Maps, and actually having the students actually develop something and look at it from a completely different perspective. And we were actually we were actually able to bring in the theory quite easily by looking at what the role of the government has, what the role of the citizen has, what the role of small community groups have. So it was a great tool for everybody in that class to use and understand the concepts that we were learning theoretically, and it also, more importantly, helped engage all of those students that don't like to sit there and write in their book or just type on their computer. So it brought that additional element into the classroom.
And you did that with Year 10.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
I'm surprised, actually, and maybe I shouldn't be, I don't know, but
Well, initially when I mentioned Minecraft, it was all like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm going to be using this. The second lesson, they were running teachers over so they could get to the classroom and actually play and be on
Wow,
there first.
okay.
So it was fantastic. And the students that I did not think would be so excited by using it were the ones who just thrived in the project.
Wow, that's terrific. Yeah, Megan, have you got a favourite project or story or something?
I do actually, and it was my first one that I did. So I was once an English teacher, so I had a Year 7 English class, and we were about to start a Shakespeare unit. And I think one of the challenges with Shakespeare is people, or kids particularly, often read it as though it's a book rather than a performance. So I wanted to get the kids understanding that, you read it as though it's a performance, and there's actors on a stage and there's a sense of stage awareness. So I spent a significant amount of time ignoring my family and building a globe theatre in Minecraft. One of my children mentioned that to me today. And then we used this world, and there was about 5 different worlds where they were working in groups, and they had to basically place themselves on stage, and they had the option of either doing screenshots and basically storyboarding a particular scene and then adding captions later, or they could actually perform the particular scene on the stage in the Globe Theatre and do a screen recording of it, and say their lines as they went. So it gave the students a real sense of, yes, there are these lines in the play, but there are actors on stage performing those lines, and the stage was really powerful in making the students realise that.
And did you notice that the kids were connecting more this time around than previously?
Absolutely.
Maybe when you talked
They
about
stopped thinking about, I've got to, translate this oldie English into current day English. That was no longer a part of their vernacular. They were literally using the language on the page and just figuring it out about where they needed to stand and what the language meant in regards to what they should do next, without going, we need to translate this.
Yeah.
It was great.
I like the fact that you also introduced other technologies. You talked about taking screenshots,
Yeah.
and obviously those screenshots went somewhere.
Yes.
And you did a screen recording, so you were starting to pair Minecraft and what the kids were doing in that world with other technologies that you had available
It's a
to
complex skill set when you're going
Yeah.
through the entire process from out of world into world and then out of world again.
you. Yeah, great. Andrew, is there something in particular that that worked well for you in a Minecraft project?
Yeah, look, I've been teaching geography and history for a very long period of time, and I had the opportunity to transfer one of our geographical units called Environmental Management and Change into Minecraft Education Edition. Now, traditionally teaching that unit in the classroom.
What year was that with?
That was stage 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So that can be a very dry unit at points in time when we get up to that point, teaching it traditionally in the classroom.
Yeah.
But we moved it over to the Minecraft Education Edition and doing aspects where they have to make a situation where deforestation is an issue or urbanisation is an issue, really brought it to life. So we could tie the pedagogy in with Minecraft Education Edition, and like what you were saying, what Megan was saying, we could actually tie in all those extra technologies so they could actually take their models from the environmental and change world and go out to the real environment and showcase how Minecraft is showing these environments changing in real time, which is sensational.
Now, I know that you paired another Microsoft technology with a recent project that you did. You built stuff in Minecraft, and then you used... What did you use?
Yeah, so look, we took that idea and we kind of stretched it to a whole new level where we had students make a challenge in which they had to solve a real world challenge in a school environment. So what we did was we gave them an opportunity to develop something in Minecraft that we could use in the mixed reality app offered by Windows 10 to go out to the playground and solve a real world issue in the school. So one example that we had was a student designed birdhouses for the local birds in the playground, and he went out to the actual local trees and used that model he made in Minecraft using the Windows mixed reality app and put the model on actual trees and took the photos, annotated using the digital stylus, and turned that into a movie in the end using PowerPoint and video editor.
So much scope.
Yeah,
It's
it's
incredible.
unlimited.
Yeah.
Now, you just all talked about high school, and I guess most people think about the primary environment. And Dr. Bron, we've just had a visit at an incredible school.
Yes.
And I know that the teacher there did quite an interesting role play project.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that role play
Yeah,
project?
we're talking about Junku at Chatswood Primary School, and he does a colonies project, which is the kids, instead of studying how the states of Australia came to federation, they live it.
Wow.
And he has run that for 3 years, as a physical role play in his classroom, with a currency, and they trade, and and they have frictions between the colonies, and because it was kind of a sandbox experience, Minecraft is a sandbox tool. It was a beautiful fit. So this year he took that into Minecraft, and they've been playing that through to government now. Or heavens forbid they try to do what's happening in government today. But
sure they could give it their best shot.
But for me, with role play projects, what's magical about that is the kids are not talking about Minecraft.
No.
They're talking about how unfair it is, you know, because there's taxes in our state that are greater than taxes in another state.
Yeah.
And so, and they go through a fabulous role play experience. And there's a point at which they're thinking about federation, and their teacher gets them to list all the pros and cons for federating in their simulated colony, and then they look at the real historical pros and cons that were raised in Australia before federation, and there is so much aligned, there's so much correlation between what they've experienced and the real thing, and so they're not learning history, they're living history.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
It sounds like the projects that you're talking about, that sounds like Minecraft gives kids an opportunity to experience things in the classroom that they might never actually be able to experience otherwise, like the role play, like being in the Globe Theatre.
Yeah.
Now, Megan, I know what this is.
Do you?
Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about the project? And I don't know how well that can be seen. Maybe we can put a link.
Maybe we can move our heads.
Move our heads.
So what happened quite a few years ago? A few schools over in New Zealand. I think it was 2 primary schools and a high school. Worked with the New Zealand War Memorial to rebuild Anzac Cove. It was a Gallipoli-based unit. And what has been, I don't know who did it, but somebody went in and grabbed that file from the Java version, the original version of the game, and they've converted it into the Minecraft Education Edition file format. So if you go onto the Minecraft Education Edition website, you can download or access a lesson library. And if you search Anzac in there, you'll find the Anzac Cove world that you can download. So again, rather than talking about history, you can live history. So kids can land at the beach at Gallipoli, and it's built to scale as well as you can in Minecraft. And kids can land at Gallipoli and experience just how sheer those cliff tops are, and see how the army was set up at that time. It's pretty cool to live history.
The good thing about that lesson plan exactly as well is that a lot of the resources that are available on the community website. So like reading the diaries of what it was like to go to Anzac Cove, looking at the bibliographies. There's plenty of activities to support the lesson, which makes it really topical.
Brilliant. I want to get to some questions from people watching, because I know that we're live and there's people in the chat rooms.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. We've got a question. Do students here have to download the program every time that they use the computer? What's the technical? I guess we're talking about some of the technical specifics. Noelene, you're shaking your head. What's the process?
So I am at a T4L school, and we are also a BYOD school. No, you just need to download it once onto your computer. Once it's set up, the students just use their education email addresses to log on, and they can access their
first name dot last name at education.nsw.gov. That's their login.
Yes, exactly. And once they're in and all their worlds are saved, like traditional Minecraft, an IP address is given. So if you do give your students free play, or you would like them all to work into the one site, you just give them the IP address, and they can all work in the one world.
Okay.
And in addition to that, I think in schools where it's not BYOD, when they're not going into a computer lab, perhaps you've got trolley laptops coming into your classroom, make sure the kids are always going back to the same laptop every time.
Same account, same laptop.
Same account, same laptop. They install it once, and then the worlds that they've built on that laptop is where they need to go back to.
So for good practice for that, it's always good to have a sign-on sheet where they sign their name and the computer that they were using. So computer number 5 or laptop number 6, because they will forget, and then just keep that with the teacher.
Okay. Is there any problem with kids getting into other kids' worlds? Because it's a multiplayer game. It's kind of on. I don't want to say online, but it's online.
It's live in
inside
the
the department. It's online. How do you manage that?
Well, they can only get into someone else's world if you share your IP address with them. I think it's just like any other classroom management strategy that you apply. If somebody's working on a OneNote document, you don't want somebody to go in and delete their work. Same thing applies in the Minecraft world. So just due diligence as a teacher and ensuring that the students are just doing the right thing.
And before they before they click play in their world, one of the options when in that setup screen is multiplayer, and you can select that and untick multiplayer, and you won't be available for people to join.
That's right.
If you just want to play solo by your little old self, that's something you can do that will stop you being.
I think above regulatory things, Minecraft's a brilliant place to build community and build norms and build collaboration. So sometimes you do want that, but you want kids to build the norms and say, okay, these are the things we will and won't tolerate in world or won't do, and take that as an opportunity to build positive norms for the group.
Dr. Bron, talk a little bit about the potential for failure and success and how we manage that. Because what I'm hearing, I guess, from those questions is, oh no, if kids get in and smash my stuff, there's some failure that I'm going to experience. How does that, what could our response be to that, maybe?
Well, I'm case studying, currently developing resources for Minecraft Global for Australia. So these are specific cases. Two of these teachers here are the case studies in that group and resources. And all of them say, well, the first time you take the kids in, there's going to be some transgressive behaviour. They're testing the edges of what they're allowed to do. You know, when I teach pottery, I let kids bang it, flatten it, eat
Down
it.
the system.
They do it in your real class.
Do it, do whatever,
That's right.
and then we say, okay, now we're going to make something with the clay. So why would you expect anything different in Minecraft?
Okay.
So you have to have a little tolerance for chaos at the beginning, and that'll settle down when you start giving them goals and things to develop and what you want to have happen in your classroom. But have room for that. The other thing is have room for them to show you what they can be doing. I know a colleague of mine in America, Lucas Gillespie, describes the classroom teacher's role as dungeon master in the game. You know, so they're all thriving doing things, and that's great. You have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
But it's not just chaos. It's creative chaos in the space, and you have to be open to that. And, you know, there are bumps. There's going to be bumps. And, you know, when I play, there's days you do just want to blow stuff up.
Yeah. There's so much satisfaction setting off some dynamite. You can turn dynamite
I
off.
think we've all done it.
Both in the real world.
But to tell you a wonderful story about that, way back when in Massively Minecraft, we had a student who came in one day, was having a really bad day at school, and he just blew other people's things up. And he was, you know, he was exiled off the server for a while. But the kids started asking where he was. They missed him.
Yeah.
You know, it's a community, and the kids, you know, they feel it's their community, their space, and it's great to leave them the room to do that.
Yeah. So kind of little mishaps are okay.
They're going to happen.
Yeah. And we can always rebuild.
We can.
Right. At the
And
end
it's
of the
a
day,
teachable moment.
Yes,
You know, if
absolutely.
you know, like you mentioned classroom mode, it's a great way to not be in the game but still see the chat that's going on in the space.
Yeah.
There are loads of other things you don't have to be there over their shoulder policing them.
Yeah.
But you do have teachable moments where, you know, something will happen. Okay, well, let's pause and talk about why that's not an appropriate thing. What happened here? What can we do next time that happens? And use it. Yeah.
I've got a question from Lee. What's suitable age groups? We've talked about year 10. We've talked about primary, but how young would you guys go with Minecraft? I've done it with year 4s. How old are year 4s?
One of your
About
teachers
7 or 8.
today had
7 or 8.
kindergarten.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there was a kindergarten teacher in our workshop today, and I think it's,
Okay.
you know, you've got to log on to begin with, so you're probably not going to do Minecraft with infants in the first week of school.
Probably.
Because logging on can take a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
And it's about, you know, I wouldn't be, you know, using, I don't know, say a gold unit, for example, where you might use Minecraft extensively for a long period of time over the term. You're not going to do that with kindergarten. With kindergarten, you might do more challenge-based activities, where it's a 20 to 30-minute activity that doesn't take up as
good
much time.
advice.
So it's not so much about age appropriateness, it's about activity appropriateness for the age using Minecraft.
I like that. It's good.
I just came up with it.
We're nearly out of time. I guess I want to ask you one more question. You've probably each got that moment with that kid in the class where the penny dropped. You know, so for me, that was with my Year 4 class in science. And this was a girl who had just never really shone. She'd never really stood out. But with Minecraft, she was really the one who came alive. And all the teachers in that stage will go, oh my goodness, look at this girl. You know, so for her, I kind of always remember that little girl. She just came so alive because that was her moment for success. Do you have those kids moments?
So mine comes from a school where Lawrence and I both once taught together, and again teaching English in Year 7, and this beautiful girl who I actually interacted with a lot in the Minecraft club situation came out of her skin in that space, but in her English class she was very, very quiet. And when I brought Minecraft into the classroom, suddenly she became a leader within the class. So really didn't have much to do with the game itself. This moment, it was more seeing a tool like Minecraft bring out the best in a student in a classroom situation in which she's traditionally, across all of her classes, been a very quiet, which is fine, but yet to see that single tool bring out the best in her in the class situation was really cool. That was my favourite moment.
Yeah. Any of the other guys got a question?
Yeah, I had a student many years ago whose English was their second language, did not like writing, did not like coming to school. Once we introduced Minecraft, he was just able to build these
Epic.
amazing things, and so quickly, as we were discussing earlier, just so quickly, and he just thrived. And the other students looked at him as their role model, and he never had that interaction with his peers before, and it was so satisfying to see.
Yeah, and based on that, 3 weeks ago, exactly, actually, I had a class that didn't really get along with each other. But when we went into Minecraft Education Edition, they were helping and collaborating. It's like you were talking about building community. While they were in the world and in the game, you'd think they were best friends with each other. You know, like it was amazing. As soon as that game turned off, it was back to you sit over there and just over there. So it is about building community. It is about coming together. It is really such an amazing experience.
My aha is a teacher, and it's very recent because one of the case studies I'm doing is Daniel Melisari at Dalmeny Primary School, who won the Erytropolis competition earlier this year, and he told me that he played Minecraft as a teenager, late teenage, and is now teaching. But until he was in a classroom and he went to one of Megan's training, he didn't see the immediate curriculum relationship that he could be building, and I think that's the thing. Minecraft is a space for teachers to have loads of creative fun themselves, designing fabulous curriculum tasks. Like Jung designed that role play for his students. They didn't come in and invent the colonies role play. He did that, but they lived it out in Minecraft. And so I think this is a space for teachers to get really creative as well, and don't give up that piece of it.
It sounds like the natural learning designer that's in all of us, we've now got this amazing new tool where we can still design incredible learning. It's in 3D and it's colourful and it's in squares and blocks.
And don't forget to feed your family.
And don't forget to Guys, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your expertise. I'm sure that everybody who's been watching has probably got even more questions and more excitement around Minecraft Education Edition, so thank you all so much for your time. If you do want to learn more about Minecraft Education Edition and how it works in the DOE, the link will be in the chat. Yes, Michael is just nodding.
Behind us.
And it's on the board behind us, bit.ly, capital M, capital E, capital D, little o, ENSW. You can see it there. Thank you so much for joining us, and we can't wait to see you next time on the Innovations Connect sessions.
Bye.
Bye-bye.